What's up, my ninjas? This is the Cellar Dwellers Weekly Podcast with Nick and James, coming to you from Bingen, Washington, in the beautiful Columbia River Gorge. Quick shout out to the businesses that we give a fuck about: the Big River Grill in Stevenson, Washington, El Reconcito in Bingen, Hood Printing in White Salmon, Washington, and of course, Finger Smoke Discs, Disc Golf Depot in Portland. And the weekly sponsor, Preparation H, the official hemorrhoid medication of the Pro Tour. I'm going to start this week's podcast with a new segment I'm calling Regrets and Repairs, which it's basically just me apologizing for something fucked up I said last week that I regret. And the repair is me fixing something I may have said that was not accurate or just completely outright false. So, my regret was my cirrhosis review. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it came off just wrong. I heard it played back, and I did not mean to say that the course sucks. Just wanted to clear that up. I do love the course. I love holes 12, 16, 17. I'm serious. I love playing there. It was just all about the dog shit. Dude, oh my God, the dog shit. It's like wall-to-wall dog shit. What are they feeding those things?
And the old guys doing calisthenics.
Right.
42 feet across the whole course.
The yoga moms, the kids, the sprinklers. I always leave there feeling frustrated, and it's not has nothing to do with the course design. So I should have thought about that. And that was all, back me up, that was all improvisation, right? You had no idea that I was springing a course review on you. So you had time to think about yours while I just went off about the wrong thing. I should have reviewed the design, not the way I feel about the course. So to fix that, I like the course. Just don't like the yoga moms. So my repair is that last week I said the purse at the Arnold Palmer Invitational was $6 million. It's actually $9 million. And Tiger did end up taking 5th place.
Did he tie for 5th place?
Yeah, he tied for 5th. Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty sweet. So going straight into disc golf this week, we'll get the shittiest tee pad of the week from James. You got that?
Yeah.
All right, lay it on us.
This week's shittiest tee pad is brought to you by Cup-O Pizza. Best pizza in a cup this side of the border. And Hood Printing, proud t-shirt sponsor of the Cellar Dwellers podcast. Custom t-shirts in the Gorge. Find us at www.hoodprinting.com. Milo MacGyver is a masterpiece of course design excellence. Possibly the best course we have here in the entire Northwest. So I'm here to bring some light to the darkness otherwise known as 14 East. This 187-foot shot is easy. Maybe a little too easy for the grandeur of Milo. So some wiseacre decided that it was a good idea to point the tee pad the wrong direction. And when the disc gods noticed what had happened, they caused an earthquake and sent a bolt of lightning crashing down to curse the tee pad. That's where the crack came from. So when you go to blast your putter off this little gem, hope you're not distracted by the blasts coming from the bathroom directly behind you. Noise-canceling headphones and nose plugs are recommended, but not required.
That tee pad is pretty funky. I wonder what the plan was there.
I bet you the basket started off in a different spot.
But it points off into the bushes. No, either it was a major fuck up. Maybe it was the last one they made, so they were so burnt out.
They're just tired. Like,
they're
let's get
blurred,
out of here. Oh man, there's
blurred
one more.
vision. Blurred vision. They were like looking off to the left, but the basket was coming into focus from the right. I don't know. I bet there's a logical explanation.
It would be, if anybody's actually listening to this, you should send us an email if you know anything about the reason why that tee pad is pointed the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely gives the course some character. And yeah, like you said, I mean, I'm pretty sure Milo has to be the best course in the world. It has to be.
There.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you like. Nice. I mean, some people, if you're from the desert, you might really like a desert course, I guess. Because my family is from Estacada. Like, I grew up there. Like, that air, everything about that place is nostalgic to me. I guess maybe that's why. And plus, Milo's just sick as fuck. But anyway, fuck that. Enough about that bullshit. Let's talk about Major Creek Disc Golf Course.
Yay.
So we had to take a break last week because we unfortunately had to go to the beach and relax for 4 days. So we were unable to do a podcast last week. But 2 weeks ago, after we got done with our podcast, James and me went up and scouted the property where we're supposed to build this course, and the property was way beyond our expectations. Would you agree?
Yeah. Plenty of room, plenty of challenges.
Elevation, there's even grass, there's dirt, there's
trees,
creeks, there's fucking everything. Yeah.
Rattlesnakes, ticks.
Is there rattlesnakes up there?
Yeah, probably.
Great.
Only in the middle of summer. It's not bad.
No, that's great. Oh, yeah. So it's going to be a pay-to-play. There's going to be fucking camping. The owner of the property wants a clubhouse, which is just fucking awesome. And now James and me are talking about building an outdoor outback bowling lane, dude. Sounds so awesome.
Just for fun.
Yeah, just at the clubhouse.
Or maybe for tiebreakers.
Yeah, like baskets and, like you said, horseshoes and fucking outback bowling where you got moss and shit growing on the lane. And
indeed, that sounds great.
there's like Black Widow egg sacs in the holes of the bowling ball, so...
Ooh, extra danger.
We'll just have fucking anti-venom kits in the clubhouse. We'll just hand them out like candy.
Yeah, you get an EpiPen when you sign up. It comes with your membership.
So this course, James and me are in charge of designing and building, and it's going to be a Pro 18. We're talking about doing alt tees on the front 9, so it adds up to 27 holes at the end. We're talking about doing skill shot or bullseye baskets on the back 9, making the back 9 more of a par 4 style situation, and the front 9 all regulation baskets. And no OB, nothing. Even if you go in the fucking creek, you got to get in there and play that.
Yeah, you can play from the creek if you want.
If you can play your lie, you play it. The only OB that we're going to establish will be just out of the actual property line. So,
or maybe the road going through the campground.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're talking about the...
Yeah, we'll have to play it and see how it plays.
You know, I do like that island green we played when we were like just throwing routes. Do you remember we played down the road?
Yeah, scouting. Up
to the left, and that road did kind of make that a cool island green. I mean, I don't know. I guess we could do a road OB.
But you play from your lie.
But you play the lie, but not beyond, or... You know, if you come up short or you come up long, obviously you're on the green. If you come up short, yeah, I'd say you're in bounds. But, I mean, we could make a road OB. Still, I say fuck that. Fuck OB. Whatever. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I say fuck OB. This is what I say. I think imaginary OB takes away more than it brings. Regarding, like, excitement, enjoyment, competitive golf, I think it takes away more than it brings. Seriously. You'll walk away with...
You don't have to ask somebody like, hey, is this where you think I was when I went out of bounds?
Yeah, all that shit. And just like the overall feeling you get when you're done with a round. Like, I don't know. If you were like OB and you're like, OB and took a bunch of strokes, you're kind of bummed out. Or you're like, I had to play these crazy shots and they didn't work. I never got out of trouble, but it was crazy. You should have seen where I had to play from, you know, and you have this story to tell, and it like adds to the player experience instead of just, I took 7 penalty strokes. It sucked, which is what it's like. And you're like, oh, I didn't even get to play my lie. Actually, I got a drop right on the fairway. Like I got the most generous lie you could ask for. I didn't even have to play that disastrous shot.
I have a feeling there's going to be plenty of places to take 7 strokes.
The creek shots. Yeah. So, all right, fuck all that bullshit. Let's just give a quick recap on Waco. So, Big Germ, 2-time Waco champ. The dude's 1022 rated. He's got 69 wins for 161 grand. Good for Big Germ. Looks like he's playing pretty well. Him and Nate Sexton have been doing a lot of commentary on the Jomez videos. Have you ever watched those?
No. Explain Jomez.
Really? You don't watch any of their videos? They basically make the best fucking disc golf videos you can watch. And just great shots, great angles, and they do commentary. They let players do commentary a lot. And they were mixing it up for quite a while, but recently it's just been Sexton and Big Germ. And they do great because they do commentary on themselves too, which is, I like it. I think it's great. You get great insight.
Like they... in between rounds?
No, just they do commentary during an entire round.
So they're not playing, obviously.
No, they do the commentary afterwards. Gotcha. So they sit down and they watch their own round and do commentary. Yeah, weird. I thought you'd be familiar with that. I watch all that shit, man. Sort of. They try not to give it away, too, because they know what they shoot. So, if that makes sense.
Who is the guy filming at the disco ball 4 years ago? Joe something.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I thought maybe that's who you were talking about.
Oh, no. Dude, there's so many dudes out there, I don't really remember. But anyway, so apparently Simon, and all I know is what I'm saying, is apparently Simon got stuck in traffic and didn't make his tee time. That's what Big Germ said. Yeah.
That sucks.
Right? It's fucking lame. It's like stuck in traffic. I can sympathize with that just because of where we fucking live. So this dude named Perkins took second place. He's a local, and he's got big ass hair at Waco. Yeah, in MPO. And I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? So I looked him up. He took 19th at that event last year, but he played lights out, went into a playoff with Big Germ.
What's his name?
Nathan Perkins.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sexton, I think Sexton took fourth. And what's really funny, I think you'll get a kick out of this. If you look up Sexton's record, the poor bastard, like, always takes either, like, third to sixth. Every event of all time, always. Like, once in a while he slips down, but never up.
He's always in the running, though.
Yeah, he's always right there. So I'm a huge fan. I'm looking for Nate Sexton world champ 2018, but I bet he'll take fourth. Anywhere between third and sixth. Something.
Yeah, I need a new Firebird.
All right, moving on past Waco, I was going to go to Tiger. Tiger tied for fifth at last Sunday's Arnold Palmer Invitational. God, I hate saying those fucking words together. He following a second place finish from the weekend prior. So anyway, that OB was that on 14. We were watching that. Remember? Yeah. Was that on hole 14?
14.
So he knew there was only 2 par 5s left, and he knew he had to crush them to get a win.
Right.
And you could feel it oozing off of him when he was staring at that OB like, it's over. That it's over.
Right.
Like, even if I fucking...
He could have pulled up to second place, probably.
He was 12 under on hole 14. And nobody could have predicted...
The winner ended at 17.
Nobody could have predicted what Rory was about to do, and I'll talk about that in a second. But Rory was pretty far behind him at that point in time, and he was only at 14 under, I think. 12? No, he was 11. He was 11 under. Yeah. Woods was in a lead, 1 stroke over Rory. He was at 11 under. And then when he slammed that OB, he just knew it was done. And I don't know what happened with Rory, but he birdied 5 of the last 6 holes. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. In that putt,
it's consistent.
He could have laid up that last putt, and he drained it. It was like 25 feet. And he already had the win in the bag. He could have just laid up, got a par, and walked away. But he's like, nah, I'm going to sink this one too.
He's making a statement.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah. He caught fire. That's what everybody wants to do who plays golf. Everybody's looking to get into that zone, right? I mean, I bet most players who were in the lead wouldn't have run that. It's like a certain kind of personality. There's only certain players who...
Yeah, you just... park it up next to the hole and tap it in.
Just tap that, and you want a low stress winning putt, right? Because you want it to look good.
But why not?
You don't want to be the
birdie,
guy.
Man?
You don't want to be the guy who 5 putts and still wins by 1 stroke. Is my point, right? So like, dude, that shit happens.
He went out in style,
right? You want your final putt to be glorious, and that's why most people would lay up, so you can just tap in, and that's the image that they're going to, PGA is going to use if you win. But Rory, he went for it. He went for the jugular, man. Used his teeth. I didn't know you could putt with your teeth. That was fucking weird. All right, so now we got the Hood River horse fucker here, and he's going to give us what sucks and what doesn't suck in Hood River this week. This is the Hood River horse fucker here, and every time that I get done plowing a full-size Clydesdale, I like to cure my inflamed hemorrhoid with Preparation H before I go play disc golf with my brand new line of finger smoke discs. That includes the XE tank, the FU hostage, and the ES body bag. Don't be a joke, throw finger smoke. What sucks this week in Hood River is that the tourists are returning. They drive like cunts, and then when they get out of their cars, they act like everyone who they almost just ran over 2 seconds ago needs to get the fuck out of their way now. They walk up and down the only street in Hood River like zombies in a graveyard and buy all the useless shit that they can find literally anywhere else. What doesn't suck? I'm drawing a blank this week, so check me out next time. Anyway, Hood River horsefucker here, over and out. Thanks, sir. Okay, moving on from golf onto football. So Baldwin, I guess, expressed his disapproval on Twitter or some shit. Did you see any of that?
No, I wish I would have. I didn't get to Baldwin.
Yeah, so I was thinking today, or I think it was the other day, I don't know, all these days blur together, about Hausch Cash, Hausch Money. After he left Walsh's train wreck
Season.
first season with the Hawks, and just the weirdness of why we got rid of Hausch in the first place. I just felt like that was the beginning. And you think about it, like
it was sort of felt like Carroll was just saying fuck you to him.
I don't know.
Like it was a personal thing. That's how it felt outside looking in.
Well, I don't know what went down, but I do know what went down with Sherman, because he wrote a letter and it posted on his webpage. It's crazy. Check this out.
Like for his company?
No, his personal, his Richard Sherman's website. So here's what he says went down in a nutshell too. And hopefully I don't fuck shit up. If I do, I'll go back and repair it on my repairs and
Is
regret
he mad,
segment.
bro?
Not really. Yeah, kind of. It's kind of complicated, and that's why he wrote the letter. So basically, is what he said happened. He heard that he was going to be possibly released.
Yep.
And he said he was in California doing something. He was at a fucking convention or some shit. And he said he got his phone just started blowing up at 1:00. So he looked down and he's been released from the Seahawks. That's how he found out that it was for sure. He said he knew it was happening, and he discussed it with John Schneider, like it was in the works, and he was prepared for it. This gets kind of weird, so try to follow me here. So he said 1:03, 3 minutes later, he got a phone call from the 49ers. And they offered him, he said it was the most, he couldn't imagine getting an offer like that from any other team.
Right.
Because he was coming off of an injury, right?
Like a debilitating injury.
Achilles, yeah.
Yeah.
So he said he went and met with the guy right away. I can't remember the dude's name. It's a Niners dude. I'm not familiar with the Niners organization. And he said the guy was really nice. They talked for hours. He said the guy just spoke his language. He said they talked schemes. They talked about him, mentoring the young players and helping build the 49ers franchise around Garoppolo and all that shit. And he just said he really liked the dude. And he said that night when he went home, he said Schneider told him to call him and they'd match any offer he got. And Sherman took that, basically, you kind of read on that it's basically Schneider saying nobody's going to offer you jack, and I bet you we can match anything they offer you, and we will, meaning
right.
We'll pay you less. So he called Schneider, said what the Niners are paying him, and they said we can't match that. So that's why Sherman's pissed. He said he just felt like he got injured, and they just said, oh, you're out, fuck you, after all he'd done for the organization.
Right.
He praises his teammates and Pete Carroll and all the coaching staff. He doesn't trash anyone by name, but he definitely expresses his unhappiness with how that all transpired.
He's a great cornerback, but he's also been an asset to the franchise in more ways than just football too.
Yeah, he's done a shitload for that team.
Right.
He just basically said he feels
spited, basically.
Like, you're injured, we got what we want out of you, and you're damaged goods now, get out of here. And yeah, the Niners were all over it. So
can you blame them?
Well, I think this is what I think. I think Think back, James. Think back. Lynch, Russell, that lineup, Legion of Boom. Everybody's gone. The powerhouse in the NFC West this year will be LA and San Francisco, and I bet the Hawks in Arizona will be at the bottom. We're not making the playoffs next year.
It feels like they're cutting every person that they can just so they can rebuild.
Yeah, well,
start like kind of a new thing.
So they're rolling some dice, and I just don't think they're going to be able to compete with these other teams that already have their crew intact and ready to go. San Francisco is locked and loaded. So is LA.
Yeah, San Francisco's going to be the team to beat in this division for sure.
And LA. I think it'll be a battle between those two as the best.
At least
NFC
the team
West
to watch.
San
Francisco.
Well, because I don't really care about the Rams, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, because of Garoppolo. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a little more fun to watch.
A little more exciting football. Yeah, watch the Niners finally come back and do something. But my predict is a bigly decline from the Hawks next year. And hopefully Russell survives and doesn't die in the process.
With Earl Thomas, did you know anything about Earl Thomas? Like,
haven't heard anything.
They could trade him, but they want way too much for him, and nobody's going to take him basically. And they wanted a first and a third round draft pick, and then he's going to want $11 million a year wherever he goes. So he's basically going to stay at the Hawks.
All pro safety, man.
Right. Yeah. So
those are not exactly a dime a dozen.
We still have Earl Thomas on the Hawks.
Man.
Oh, I wanted to go over all the people that were gone this year.
Oh, let's hear it.
So Paul Richardson, I didn't know that one. He's gone.
That's the running back that did jack shit?
No, he was the receiver.
He was a wide receiver that actually caught footballs. Or
Jimmy Graham's gone. We talked about that before.
He's Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is bitch now.
Cam Chancellor and Cliff Averill are both still so injured they're not even sure if they're going to play football again. That was on the Hawks site.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bennett, he's on the Eagles now, but he's also facing a felony charge going into this season.
What?
So,
felony charge for what?
I didn't look up for what. I just saw that he's in trouble. Sherman went to the Niners. Sheldon Richardson, that new guy that was supposed to be hot shit, he's supposed to be going to the Vikings, I believe.
Okay.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got here.
That's what you got. Yeah. So I got. Let's see. We know
where we're trying to get Tom Johnson from Minnesota.
So we know where Sherman is going.
Like a defensive guy.
Just waiting to go to the Hawks page tomorrow and be like, Russell Wilson is going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked up.
Tavares Jackson's coming back.
Ooh, dude, that was the most painful season to sit through.
Somebody told me that he didn't save any of his NFL money, and the only thing he had left as of a few months ago was a $300,000 car, and that's it.
T-Jack?
T-Jack.
Really?
Yeah, poor guy.
So what kind of car costs $300,000?
I don't know, like maybe a Bentley or something?
A Bentley.
Just a guess.
Sounds like...
Why don't you look that up?
Sounds like Bender's cousin's name. Poor, sweet, innocent Bender.
Yes. It could be his cousin.
A Bentley. A $300,000 car. So put it all on 13 Black.
Yeah. You park your car on 13 Black. An expensive parking space. So anyway, moving on. I wanted to bring something up.
So I've been watching that Rajneesh show on Netflix.
Me too.
So Liz told me, I know that I bet we
I'm
could
on
talk.
episode 4.
We are too.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So we could probably talk about this for years because it happened in our neighborhood.
Right.
You grew up with this shit.
Right.
So I remember when Liz told me about it, she said, and this is all she knew, she's like, yeah, it was weird. It was like some weird town or a cult, and they bust in homeless people from Portland so they could use them to vote.
Right.
And she was
Antelope to take over the town.
And she told me that that's a lot of those homeless people ended up living in the Dalles. And she said she heard through, rumors as a kid. That's why everyone in the Dalles was weird, because they were all the tons of weird homeless dudes from Portland who took over. And
crazy.
It's kind of probably not totally true.
There's probably a grain of truth in there.
Sure. But either way, that's all I had ever heard about it. James, that's all I'd ever heard about it, was that they bust in homeless people. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, that's weird, whatever. And now I'm like, what the fuck happened out there?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
so what's crazy
God.
is how coherent those people seem when they're
dude, I said the
building,
exact same
and
thing.
They're engineers and doctors and they bought into this guy.
It's so weird.
Like he's a religious icon.
Oh yeah. Dude, I spent all morning I woke up just tripping on it from that show, and I spent all morning drinking coffee, reading about Jonestown, reading about fucking Charles Manson, just kind of trying to figure it out, like how? And I'm thinking Jesus, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Somebody that's just got overwhelming charisma.
I was just going to say that.
You look in their eyes and it makes you cry and you don't know why. I mean, that's the description people
another
gave.
Thing I was thinking, talking to Liz about last night, is that it seems like, it would be easier to get people to follow you if you were preaching love, no matter what your intentions were, because it's sustainable. If you're preaching hate, people are going to rip each other apart and everybody's going to die, and it's not going to last.
Love is sustainable would be a great bumper sticker.
Well, it keeps people skeptical to question if your motivation, if they really believe it's all about love. So no matter what you say, they'll do, even if they say drink the Kool-Aid. Right?
It's the Kool-Aid of love.
It's fucking creepy, dude. Cults, they're fucking weird. Like, what's the fucking allure? I don't know. It trips me out. And why did they all happen around the same time? And why have I not thought about this sooner?
I don't know. There's still plenty of them happening as we speak.
Cool. Weird show anyway. It's really cool because it's local. That's right. That's why I'm really into it. It happened in our backyard right here.
Right.
Yeah,
I've been to all those places.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been to
You've ever been to Antelope?
Well, to Antelope, I've been there with you, but I've never been past it up to the actual
No, I've
site.
never been there. I wonder if you can still go there.
It's a Christian camp.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So it got creepier.
Yeah. Oh, James, good one, man. Good one. Yes, it got even worse. I didn't even think about that. I was just so enthralled with it, all morning. Yeah, what a crazy. That chick is
Sheila.
She's something, huh? Wow.
How is she not in prison?
I don't know. I don't know what the end story is yet.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Well, even when I looked it up,
maybe we'll talk about it later.
Even when I looked it up, it was kind of
spoiler alert.
Well, it already happened, so the information's already available. It's not a movie. But yeah, that's why I looked it up anyway. Shit, that's fucking funny. So check this out. Back to disc golf now. About the disc golf course that James Amir designing called Major Creek Disc Golf Course. So check it out. Here's my design plan. 27 holes total when you include the alt tee from the front 9. Alt tees for a full 18 with adjustable regulation El Guapo baskets. Front nine's like friendly, grassy fairways, still long and still pro, but a little more airspace than the back nine. So I'm thinking for the front nine, 2 short wooded shots at like 200 with challenging greens and elevation. 4 like air shots in the 3 to 450 range. 2 blind shots in the 350 to 500 range. And by 500 meaning, I'm talking like a 500 par 3, like it might be downhill, like that shot we were throwing in the field. Mm-hmm. Right. And then 1 friendly par 4 is what I'm thinking on the front nine, maybe. That's in the 650 to 700 range, but it plays really friendly. Like basically a gimme for pros, and it'll give AM players a run for their money. So the back nine, though, all skill shot El Guapo baskets, rough fairways, water, cliffs, trees, big arm shots. So the 2 wooded short shots will be, instead of 200 like the front, they'll be about 250 with challenging greens and possible elevated pins, elevation, shit like that. Then 4 par 4s with as much fucking elevation and water and OB if we can get it in play. And by OB, I mean legit OB. And then just 2 straight up, flat out big arm air shots. Remember, this is the back nine. And then the last hole will be, if we can pull it off, a par 5 that has everything to finish, as the course is hole 18. And another thing, I want it to be just the dirtiest par 5 if possible, dude, and have the most generous green on the course. Like if you land on it, like it's like 70 feet of just perfect green and a basket in the dead center. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I thought I might make some suggestions if our listeners like podcasts.
No!
Maybe some newer, current, more addictive, binge-worthy ones, you know? Our state of affairs is pretty weird. We got some weird stuff going on in politics. If you want to have a little window into what could possibly happen, check out Slow Burn. It's by Slate, and it's kind of all about what happened with Watergate. It's about 6 or 7 episodes that are definitely worth listening to. Also, if you like true crime and music, there's like a good crossover one. It's called Disgraceland. And this week's episode was all about the band Mayhem. And it's like a Norwegian black metal band that kind of got that movement rolling. And it's a pretty dark story if you're into that sort of thing. And then another one, check out This Is War from Wondery. It's kind of a glimpse into a soldier's state of mind, and it's not always pretty, but it's an honest take on modern warfare, and if you appreciate that kind of thing, it's definitely very interesting. And that's produced by Mike Boudet of Sword and Scale, also a great podcast. So if you like podcasts, check those out and get hooked.
I want to tell you something crazy. So I had a great time last weekend, by the way. That was really fun.
Thanks, man.
What? Gross. I'm going to start that over. I had a blast last weekend. You got to get up in that mic. Don't forget that. I had a blast last weekend. Kids had fun, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's, how would they not? It's
Drunkle Nick. Drunkle Nick happens.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Charlie and I had a little talk.
About Drunkle Nick?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
She said, why was he acting crazy?
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe a little too much whiskey.
Yeah.
And
so
we had a little talk about whiskey.
So you've known me for a long time. 20 years or something, right?
Yeah. 20-ish years.
So I haven't told you this yet. This might blow your mind. But I'm on day 6 right now. I haven't had a drink since we got back.
Oh, is that the gallon that broke the camel's back?
I've never done this before. ever since I started drinking. So it's huge for me.
Well, that saves the oncoming intervention then.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of response from you. I mean, I definitely drink too much when I drink.
What kind of response? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't drink and drive. I don't drink at work.
No.
I mean, I definitely have a problem, but I'm not like a full-blown alcoholic.
Just blacking out is kind of, that's
yeah,
the point of no return.
Yeah.
Like you gotta stop there.
Yeah, and apparently I was told I had a great time, and I was told everyone else did
nobody
too.
got hurt.
But that was the problem, is that I had to be told that I had a good time. And that was like what had me bummed out on the drive home. I was like, I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be like that. Like, why do I do that? And I'm like, I'm not drinking anymore, and I just haven't had a drink ever since.
Cool, man. I stand behind whatever. I mean,
I'm not going to stop.
How it is.
Don't worry, I'm not going to stop making whiskey.
I support whatever it is that makes my friends happy, man.
Sure. Well, then I'll get blackout drunk in 10 minutes.
If that's that's what it takes to get through the day.
I'm definitely not happy blackout drunk. And
no,
I guess the other part that freaks me out is I don't get hungover anymore, which is weird.
That's dangerous. Yeah. That means that you're doing some damage to a sandwich.
Well, I'm good now. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good anyway. And I don't do that all the time, James. It's just in social settings, you drink more. You know that. That's just how it is. You're not trying to. You just do. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on from Nick's drinking habit here. I have something.
Are you going to include that in there?
That piece?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, I don't know. It's sort of personal.
So?
It's up to you. I have I'm pretty straightforward with you.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I drink a lot. It's just what I do in the afternoons. I tie one on. I mean, I don't get shit-faced every night, and you know that, but I definitely drink every day, or did, until a week ago. It's
I go in and out of it.
I know. I don't. I've been steady all this time. You've taken breaks. I haven't. So anyway, moving on. Politics, bro.
That really politics me off.
This song. Yeah, cool. We'll just close with this. This will be a good closer for this. So I was working the other day, and I came up with this perfect hypothetical situation to explain lobbyists to people and how it works, broken down on a super simple scale. And I want you to feel me out here. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts, because you might see some things I overlooked, or you might be like, yeah, that's about it. So in this hypothetical, a dude claims some land, and 3 generations pass, and one day, dude with a suit and tie walks up and he's like, hey, I want to drill for oil right over there on your land. What do you say? And the guy's like, what's in it for me? He's like, I'll give you 0.1001% of my profits. And he goes, I want half, which is fair.
Right.
Now, lobbyists don't like fair. And neither do big corporations. They don't play fair. So he says, no, it's my way or the highway. And guess what? I got 2,000 men and enough gear to bulldoze your house and bury you, and no one will come to save you. So you take my offer or you die, basically. Now, let's go back to that hypothetical situation with the central government. Same situation, but the guy bought his land. He didn't claim it. And the guy with the suit and the tie comes up and says, I got 2,000 guys. I'm going to bulldoze your shit. And he says, haha, contraire, mon frere. I pay taxes to a government that has a military, and they will come here and kill you if you come onto my land. Fuck. Hypothetically. So, what would you do if you're the guy with the suit and tie on at this point in time? You need to get to that land. What stands in between you and that land now? A government. So you're going to go to the government and you're going to say, hey, buddy, I need access to this land. And if you can get it for me, I will cut you in on these profits. We'll also spin it and make it look like we're doing this guy a favor. And sure, he'll be mad, but it's you who can make the decision, eminent domain, to give me access to that, and I'll make $1 billion and I'll give you 500 million. That's lobbyists. That's how they operate. You go through, because government can take it. So now that guy with the suit and tie controls the army that fucking protects the people who he's stealing shit from. It's pretty fucked up. But is that about it?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean, there's other layers there.
Right. But I mean, just the idea that corporations control governments, corporations write laws. The interests of a politician are the interests of the guys writing them paychecks, which is that guy with the suit and tie on who couldn't get that dude's land. And there's like thousands and thousands of them, and they're all lining up to give him a paycheck to help them out. That's what lobbyists do. I don't know. I read all this shit online about politics, and Trump supporters don't care to know who writes checks for their boy. And it's weird. It's like fucking Hitler. Like, he's got them thinking they don't need to know. It's so fucking weird. And you know that's what's in his taxes, and that's what he's hiding from his supporters, is that he's getting money from all kinds of people, just like everybody else. Obama was no different. Obama happened
That's
to
how
make
you get there.
Obama happened to make health insurance mandatory. Who do you think's in his pockets?
Whose pocket is he in?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Everybody's making a profit off lobbyists in Washington. Nobody's innocent. Straight up. It's not because it's Trump. And what's so perplexing about it is that his support are like, yeah, we don't even care.
Bernie Sanders, man.
Bernie Sanders could have easily been corrupted, though, couldn't he?
At this point, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
He's been in politics for how long, and he doesn't do that, so. Check him out. You ever heard of him?
Of course. I mean, dude, Bernie's amazing. But I mean, I didn't think that his ideas were realistic. Like, being the only guy who has that view, surrounded by corruption, like literally every single person around you in the entire Senate, you know, like everybody's corrupt, and you're the only guy who isn't. Like, how can you move forward like that?
Yeah, maybe the American people should save their money and buy a lobbyist.
You had that idea. That's great. I speak for these guys. You know, the American people.
Yeah, we'd finally have a voice with our government instead of just, you know, the corporations making all the decisions.
This is something that I think this whole election cycle
we'd send our
has
lobbyists
missed out on.
to deal with them.
Is that people have forgotten that it really is just all about the money. You want to think there's like, no, this dude's different, or this guy's different. Oh, really? How convenient. They're not different. Everybody wants the same thing. Donald Trump didn't wake up at 7 years old one day and be like, I care about the poor. I want to help people. He did not do that. He saw a business opportunity. The business opportunity is to collect fucking checks from lobbyists so he can cover his tracks with the Ponzi scheme business he's running, where he's lying to his fucking investors about his liquid assets.
Until he eventually has enough money to cover all of his
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
checks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's just cycling money. That's why he doesn't want his investors to see his money. That's why he doesn't. That's his real motivation, I think, for not wanting to release his tax returns, because his investors will see that he has nothing. And they'll be like, fuck that, I want my money back. Like, you're going to send me into the fucking, you're going to send me bankrupt, dude. That's what Ponzi schemes do.
Maybe you'll get to see that stuff someday if he doesn't pass some law that makes it illegal for the American people to see what the president did.
Well, that's what's so funny
right now
about it.
We have protection. Like, everything he does is, 10, 15 years or something. There's like because that information becomes available.
Oh,
eventually.
right. Well, and that's what nobody wants to admit that are supporters of him. And you and me both know it's true that he's also most likely received donations from Russian oligarchs. And that's probably in his tax returns too.
He made his White House staff sign disclosure agreements.
I know. I heard that shit on NPR
the other day. You can't do that. It's illegal.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Think about it. Like I said, all of that's all public information. Those people, they're public servants.
Oh, that's
employees,
right.
You know?
Yeah, they're working for us. We need to know what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly. Even if you hold on to it for 7 or 10 years for national security or whatever, like.